Somewhere, Patrick Mahomes is smiling as he gets some much-needed protection. You always got to have protection. The Kansas City Chiefs select Ohio State offensive lineman Josh Simmons with the 32nd overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. So let's kind of set the scene for you of how this happened here. The Eagles ended up trading up to 31. The Chiefs moved back to their rightful place of 32, where they should have been all along. And by moving down one spot, they picked up an extra fifth-round pick along the way. And the Chiefs did not, prior to tonight, have any picks in the fifth or sixth round. So they get the player they wanted to begin with at 31. And on top of that, they add an extra fifth-round pick to the equation as well. So very good work from Brett Veach. What was fascinating about this was this board was wild compared to what I think most of us expected tonight. Will Johnson, who many people thought was going to be a top 10 pick, he didn't go in the first round. Mike Green, who the consensus was would be a top 15 pick, he did not go in the first round. Those guys were still available, but Brett Veach sticks to the memo of the number one thing they needed to address, and that was the offensive line. And he got a hell of a player in Josh Simmons. And right away, I know people are going to point to the injuries that he's had. But here's what I would tell the folks out there. The Chiefs have an incredible medical staff. They've done their homework on Josh Simmons. And if they believe that he's fine, then I have every reason to trust them that he's going to be okay. Had Josh Simmons not suffered the injuries, he would have been probably a top 10 pick. Probably would have been the first offensive lineman taken in this draft. And the Chiefs have found themselves in this position the last few years because they picked so low where they've missed out on some of the top offensive linemen that they've really needed. Now, you take a little bit of a chance, but I think the reward far outweighs the risk here with the player that you're getting. More on Josh Simmons, a very good athlete and mover with a quality frame and solid power. Limited his penalties year over year at Ohio State. That was something he improved on as he struggled with careless penalties earlier in his career when he was at San Diego State. Flashes of rawness paired with the knee injury from last season, that's got to be cleared. But overall, I think if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to be feeling pretty good. And now you look at this offensive line situation. You sign Jalen Moore. You bring in Josh Simmons. You had a big need at the left tackle spot. You moved on from Joe Thuney. I think Simmons probably plays guard if he were to beat out Jalen Moore for the starting left tackle spot. Then you play Moore at guard. And you don't have to start Kingsley now, which I think we're all worried about. I think this is very good for the Kansas City Chiefs. How would you grade the pick? I know it was tempting with Will Johnson there and Mike Green there, but this is a smart pick. In Veach, we trust. Grade the pick, A, B, C, D, or F. Way in the comments section, let us know. We are doing draft coverage all weekend long here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Had a live show Thursday, back live again Friday. We're breaking down every single pick on the channel. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free. Let's get at least 50 subs off today's video. We are all over it throughout the rest of the draft and the offseason right here on the channel. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Never miss a moment. Lock us in. Invite all your friends. Make sure they subscribe as well. Josh Simmons. I mean, this is one for me. It's so fascinating because it's the temptation that's there. For my biblical philosophers out there, we all know the story of the Garden of Eden. When Eve ate the apple when she wasn't supposed to, and that's how sin entered the world. I think if you were Brett Veach, the apple that was sitting there was Will Johnson and Mike Green. And it may have been very tempting. But the number one thing holding the Kansas City Chiefs back from winning the Super Bowl in this 2025 through 2026 campaign is the offensive line. And Brett Veach, to his credit, did not take a bite out of the apple. He did what he needed to do, and this has been a problem since Eric Fisher left town a few years ago. You look at the numbers from Josh Simmons. His strength is pass blocking, which bodes well for the Kansas City Chiefs as much as they like to pass the football. He'll need to do some work in the run blocking department. 68.7 grade, overall grade 74.5, pass block rate of 82. Did not allow a single sack. Dane Brugler of The Athletic had this to say: Simmons is a nimble, coordinated pass protector with tremendous athletic poise and the body control to be a long-term starting left tackle in the NFL. His pro projection hinges on medical feedback. That's all it is. This is not a talent question mark with Josh Simmons. This is about, can he stay healthy or not? We'll see. But the Kansas City Chiefs feel pretty optimistic that he will. Let's tell you about today's sponsor, and it is a new shaving company called House of Atlas. They gifted us one of their razors, and honestly, I'm kind of blown away. Not only does it look insanely sleek sitting in my bathroom, but it gives me an incredibly close shave. It feels weird to gush over a lineup of shaving products, but truly House of Atlas makes one-of-a-kind stuff. Not to mention their products are all designed to look like they should have their own tech reveal. Now, you look at the routine that they offer, from the razor, the shave cream, the aftershave. I mean, you're going to feel like a different man when you're using this, folks. I've been liking the shave cream, thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leave my skin baby bottom soft. Folks, you know me. I'm Native American. I can't grow much facial hair, but I still have to shave. I got to keep the baby face going, and it works out pretty well. Their aftershave is awesome, too. Doesn't burn like old school aftershave, but it does have a nice cooling sensation and smells really good. And now, for a limited time, they're offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit in the before and after set, which includes the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com today. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. So the picks leading into this, I was surprised at how this draft ended up shaking out. The Giants going with Jackson Dart at 25, trading back in. James Pierce at 26. Malachi Starks at 27. Williams, the Lions at 28. Just to name a few. And then there was some others. You had Maxwell Harrison going to Buffalo at 30. And then Jahad Campbell going 31 to Philadelphia with their selection. If you're Brett Veach, I think looking back on tonight, you're saying to yourself, this went pretty well for us. Because you're out of control, right? You're sitting there at 31 and eventually to 32, and you're at the mercy of everybody else. And for this to play out this way, where nobody got the Simmons before you, you added a fifth-round pick in the process, I think Brett Veach is feeling pretty good about his situation. And now he's still has 8 more picks to go for the rest of the weekend as well. You look at the offensive line. Here's how things stacked up going into Thursday night. Kingsley was on track to be the starting left guard. Now you have some real competition. Jalen Moore at the left tackle spot. Creed, Trey, and Jawan. Even with the loss of an all-pro in Joe Tooney, we have every reason to think that this offensive line is going to be much improved. And here's another idea, too. You got depth now. Mike Caliendo, he held his own last year up until the Super Bowl. He's a backup option. Kingsley, likely a backup option. Wanya Morris is still hanging around here. I'm very, very optimistic, and Patrick Mahomes has got to be pretty happy about it. The only thing that we saw testing for Josh Simmons on was his bench. 33. He's a strong dude. I mean, that's a lot of bench work. If I'm benching 33, yeah, I'm probably not running sprints or doing jumps or agility testing either. He made a statement. Yeah, I'm swole. I'm thick. That's what he did with his testing. And now the Chiefs, the rest of the weekend, they can have fun with this now. The rest of the weekend for the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, let's go find a receiver, maybe a corner, maybe an edge. But what seemed impossible going into the offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs with the cap situation and the guys that were headed to free agency, like Trey Smith and Nick Bolton and all that, it seemed very hard that this team was going to be as good as they were a year ago. And it wasn't good enough last year winning the Super Bowl. Now we sit here, and I can confidently say, after this selection and the other things that have happened this offseason, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be a better team in 2025 through 26 than they were last year. And I have every reason to think, every thought in my mind, this is the team to beat. The Super Bowl runs through Kansas City. Who do you want the Chiefs to draft next? If you had to give me one player, who would it be and why? Way in that comment section, let us know who you'd like to see the Chiefs end up with their next pick.